Representative Turner.
I stand here as a living witness of what racism has done to our people. I have been fighting, as it's been true for my colleagues in their respective areas, fighting against the racism and the prejudices and the segregation, having begun that during my college years in the sit-in movement. This is the 55th year of that movement. I was also blessed to have been present on April the 3rd, 1968, when Dr. King gave his prophetic "I've been to the mountaintop" speech. I was there on August the 28th, 1963, when Dr. King gave his masterpiece, "I Have a Dream," where at that time he was seeking to eliminate racism and prejudice and discrimination which had held our people back for hundreds and hundreds of years. And I stand with my colleagues today, just as angry, just as disappointed in the attitudes that we find prevalent, where a member can stand on the floor this morning and chastise us. This is Black History Month. This is a month when we have had an excellent program just last week, in which we highlighted some of the accomplishments of African Americans, because she needs to realize that we too made America. It was our blood, sweat, and tears that has allowed each of us to be here. It was the sacrifices of our forefathers that African Americans were finally elected to the legislature, where we could have a voice, so that we could have some say in how our lives. But we should be working together to bring our nation together. We should not be divisive. We should not be espousing racial prejudice in any media, you in a leadership position. And I will conclude by saying that each of us has a responsibility when we elected this office to represent not only our constituents, but to be concerned about the welfare and the well-being of the least of these, my brethren. We have to make this country. We are just as important as anybody else, and to stand and to make those derogatory remarks about me as representing my people is an insult, and something needs to be done about it. And I join our chairperson and others, all the members of the Black Caucus, in saying we demand an apology, and we demand that she be removed from that position of leadership.
Representative Towns.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I want to first thank you for showing the leadership to galvanize us to address this particular instance that seemingly does not appear to just be a one-time occurrence. What we're concerned about is the culture that seemingly is being created in our General Assembly. As you can stand in the well and you can talk demeaningly and degrade a race of people on an auspicious occasion like you said, Black History Month, but generally. And we all know that this is nonsense. We all know how destructive that it is. But we stand as a caucus in solidarity against that type of ignorant behavior and conduct. We stand in solidarity asking for removal of the leadership as well. We stand in solidarity asking for an apology, which it will still be hollow as an apology, but still that would be proper protocol. And I would like to remind our colleagues in the General Assembly that no one has a cornerstone on Christianity in this community. You're looking at Christians here that fought slavery, fought Jim Crowism, fought against all the segregation stuff that made this country great. There is no conservative Christendom that creates something that we have not already done in the 50s and the 40s in this country. Not just black folk, everybody that believed in the righteousness. And we've allowed, because of the far right majority, moral majority movement, to commandeer and co-opt something that we started a long time ago in this country, to make this country live out and live up to its true creed, its culture, and what it meant to all people. And it's time for us to assert and recapture that, in particular as African Americans, because we made those documents reality, because we made the country live up to what it had said. But we know this was not Christian behavior today. This is not Christian behavior to get in the well of our auspicious body and degrade your fellow brother, your fellow sister. We have members here that have been in the civil rights movement for 60, 70 years. Ms. Turner, icon, and Ms. Cooper, and we have to listen to this nonsense. Miss Turner and Miss Cooper, we have to listen to this nonsense. Now, children have to listen to this. And Favors, Miss Favors as well. We have to listen to this nonsense being streamed all over the world. Our kids have to listen to this nonsense. And we're looking for leadership from the speaker, while the speaker wants to wash her hands of the whole deal. If you're the leader of the house, create some decorum, create some conduct, make sure that people are not offended, and run the house in a way that's fair to all. That means women, that means blacks, that means Democrats, that means Republicans. Run the house in a proper way. It had been run in a proper way for a very long time. And we need this house ran in a very proper way. This is not going to go away. Now, we're not going to tolerate it either. You're not going to talk to us any kind of way. You're not going to demean us and think we're going to go back and sit down in a rocking chair and deal with it from that perspective. We're going to demand respect. And you're going to respect our people and our members. I conclude by simply saying we want an apology and her removed out of leadership. And we want it post-haste.
Okay, so to now answer the question that you asked, when we met with the speaker today, and first of all, I want to make a statement saying that as a woman, that I was very proud when Speaker Harwell was elected as the first female speaker of the Tennessee General Assembly. And although we're from different sides of the aisle, it was with a great sense of pride that not only was she the first female, but she was from Nashville. And I still highly respect that position. However, I was very disappointed when we went to speak with Speaker Harwell this morning. We had asked for two things. One is that we received an apology from Representative Sheila Butt, and two, that she be removed from her position. And the speaker told us that she had made the statement that Representative Butt did not speak for the Republican Party, and that was as much as she could do. And it just really left me with a heavy heart, because I feel like that even though formally she did not place Representative Butt in that position, but as the leader and president of this General Assembly for the House of Representatives, she is a woman of great influence just by her sheer positions. And when we witness a wrong that is occurring and we stand by and do nothing and say nothing, then I say that we are just as guilty as the person who has afflicted the victim.
What's your next plan of action?
Well, again, we have asked for that she be asked for an apology and she be removed. We'd like to next speak with the leadership in the caucus and ask and put the same ask to them and see if they would also exert some influence and give them an opportunity to do the right thing.
Will you guys attend any sessions with Representative Butt, or will you boycott?
No. Our constituents elected us to come up here and take care of the business, and that's what we will continue to do. And you know, we always want to be an example and the role model. And again, I would say occasionally we may misstep or we may misspeak. However, in this case, we think we're being very reasonable, because Representative Butt has established a pattern of making racist remarks and behavior, and it needs to be addressed.
Did you address this to House Republican Caucus Chair Cassidy?
We yes, we plan to do that. Yes, we plan to do that.
And
He'll talk to us.
how did you feel about having to come to the Speaker's office instead of having her come to y'all?
Well, she is the speaker after all. So, you know, we're pleased that she did agree, because the initial message we've gotten is that she wasn't able to do it because of her meetings today. So
I see you shaking your head behind you. Do you not agree with that?
Well, I agree with my chairman, but I still think that the speaker would have been great for the speaker to come down and meet with us. We've already assembled here, and we don't mind cooperating. But by the same token, I mean, it ended up okay. But by the same token, that could be categorized as being disrespectful to the caucus. We're the ones that have been offended. Okay, we're the ones that have been wounded historically by these types of comments. But we still are soldiers, and we want to make sure we get the job done as it relates to our constituents and what we're addressing. But no, I mean, I don't think we should have had to go, but we still have to take care of the business. So take some extra steps, you know, fine.
And we're always going to take the high grounds as well. Okay? Any other questions?
Okay.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.